It's Obstacle Racing Media. It's World's Toughest Mudder Week. I am here with orange jacket wearer, Spaniard. Where are you from? Mexico? Guatemala?
I'm from a state called California, and ethnicity wise, in Central America, El Salvador.
El Salvador?
El Salvador.
It's Javier Escobar. Hey, buddy.
What's up, man?
I am going to now blast this out, and you can tell folks why, what you're doing this year. Like, you're not running, maybe tell why and what you're going to be doing instead, having fun, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, at the beginning of the year, so I'm not running this year. I just had a minor injury occur at the beginning of the year. In February, I was actually indoor rock climbing and fell 27 feet, and I completely screwed up my right ankle. And yeah, I haven't really been able to put any sort of training in other than like strength training and then some running volume and stuff, but nothing to the degree that I was doing before. So just focusing in on getting healthy and eventually get right back at it, hopefully next year.
But you have a bunch of people running, your amigos.
Yep. Joshua Reed, DJ Fox. Yeah, a bunch of people that are running it. My twin,
Christopher Mendoza, also an orange jacket wearer.
My brother from yeah.
And a what do you call it? What's it called? Has he won it a couple times? One time, I can't remember.
I want to say it was once.
Yeah, and then your boy Trevor beat him.
Yep.
Once. Trevor's won 2. This could be his third. He could tie Atkins and Amelia with 3 individual titles.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. How are you gonna? These are all your buddies. How are you gonna know like who to like root for?
Well, I mean, you know that the only Trevor's my boy, man. You know, I'm gonna be rooting for him every single year. You know, I love the guy. So, and then you know, wherever everyone else kind of falls into play, that's the order in which I will love them for the next year. So, you know, if those get second, then you know that's how I'll feel about him. We'll have a stronger connection. If they don't fall within the top 3, then they're no longer going to be my friends. So
why would they be? So there's a bunch of questions. So what they did was they were being cutesy and like put out a map and it had all these Spartan names on them because Spartan names obstacles things like what they are. Like this one bends, it's a bender. This one's whatever the fucking stupid names Spartan comes up with. So they did that. So like instead of calling it Block Nest, it was like called like rotating cubanoids, right? So people weren't sure to believe the whole map, part of the map. It turns out the map itself was right with Spartan names and like the order, so like where there's water and stuff. And so it sounds like you haven't even seen it. So I'll pull it up here for the viewer and you, and we'll just get into it, man. We'll just get into some of it. You know what I mean? After I share this link also in the World's Toughest Mudder community, because you know they all want to see us. I mean, come on. Let me add this little photo. Bing, bang, boom. And it's going to say me and Katie and Javier are taking your questions live. Okay, so let's open the map. You haven't seen this at all, right?
No, I've not.
Well, it's a beauty. Let's get the captions and the comments open. River had commented earlier.
And Matt, just an FYI, I'm the worst person to be asking these questions.
Well, you're really not though, because I've
participated in this event for the past couple of years.
Yeah, and and you're a good guy. I just can't ask you to read. Last time I asked you to read, and you blew it. All right, so here you go. First thing, Logan Nagel. Okay, lots of water, lots of grip. Tropical the day before. Massive temperature drop to low 30s. Going to be a big drop off in mileage behind the leaders this year. Low mileage year ahead. Now, this is what you got to love about World's Toughest, because what do we always say, right? It's going to be warmer than it was. Fill in the blank. And
Right.
here we are, Alabama/Northern Florida. What could go wrong? Oh, fucking cold front of the fucking decade comes through, and it's going to be in the 30s at night.
So we're gonna have a 2018 repeat. Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying we're not going to have 600 milers again.
Yeah. So we're not gonna have a Vegas.
Oh, well, actually, it was what do you call it? Laughlin was last year.
Yeah, Laughlin.
But good on you, Logan. Logan, why don't you type in your mile prediction there? Logan Nagel of Noob Sanity. Let me pull up the stupid map so you can look at it, because I want you to see it.
I got it pulled up on the side right now.
Okay, cool. So just shoot me. Did you hear that? Just shoot me. Just shoot me. Is climb up 39 feet like Mutterhorn and then slide down. What do you think about that?
Oh, is that like what's that, Savage Race? It's kind of like one of those there.
But I think it's like a shoot. Like a slide is a big slide. A shoot like shoots you off. So I'm picturing lanes.
So Mutter didn't. I want to say that Mutter had this back in like 2013, 2014. The regular Tough Mutters, especially because I remember I ran one in New Hampshire, and sounds exactly like what you're just describing right now.
Well, they had Fire in the Hole, right? Which lived for like a minute, right? I don't know if you remember that or not.
So it had like flames at the end. They just shot you off.
It was supposed to. It was supposed to, but it didn't. Like it only lasted at like one what do you call it?
One event.
One event. This is why I don't do calls this late, because my brain doesn't ever work.
It's all right.
All right, stop sharing. So Everest is still Everest. Chill Pickle is Arctic Enema, as far as I know.
Why do you think that is, though?
Because you read the rules.
They call it Chill Pickle?
Because the rules are there. It tells you the rules on all of them.
Oh, okay.
So Chill Pickle says, I climb up into an 8 angled ladder with a slide foot down and a 5 foot deep ice pit.
But do you bring a pickle with you? Do you think
there's an inflatable baffle which must be ducked under? I'm guessing that's going to look like a pickle.
Gotcha. So okay. it's not gender oriented.
I don't believe so.
Oh, okay. I thought they were playing on
that. Dingleberries, an overhead cargo net traverse over a 5 feet dip water pit. So what is that? What do you call it? That's like Tyrolean, right? Cargo net traverse.
Yeah.
Feet spin is you're traversing across those little discs. You know, you have to step on those things. Like you're stepping across, but instead of stepping on like a flat platform, it's like a little frisbee that you're stepping on.
Okay. So it's just like going across a bunch of CDs, spinning CDs.
Exactly. Look how smart you are. See what a fucking natural you are at this?
Yeah.
And I'm skipping all these penalties because the penalties are kind of dumb, and I thought we were getting rid of silly stuff for the elites, but that's clearly not happening. Let us know in the comments. What are your thoughts on that? The next one is a fucking favorite.
Yeah.
Double Rainbow.
Yep.
We have not seen Double Rainbow since 2016. And people loved it.
People were saying that Joe DeSanto was broke, but he can afford Double Rainbow back in WTM. That's great.
Oh, my goodness. Dirty Holes, Ladder to Hell, Dublin Walls, Augustus Gloop, Underwater Tunnel, Statue of Liberty. So all those sound normal. Statue of Liberty is 11B. So that's at night. Do you remember that one? At night, you have to go through, hold a torch, and if it goes in the torch, you failed the obstacle, right?
Yeah. It's like you're swimming across it. Well, hopefully they make the water deep enough where you're actually swimming across, because I do remember in 2019, you could pretty much tread water across when you were doing the Statue of Liberty.
I remember in Vegas, it was not like that. I was like, I was
Exactly.
like worried.
Yep.
And the wind's blowing, and so you're holding it, because I think the penalty is just do it again. I think that's the penalty for it. It's like there's no workaround.
Or it could be some KGP obstacle, some communist obstacle.
KGB. Before we go through the rest of these kind of blow by blow, I do want to wait for Katie because I know she has questions. And I guess just as a guy who went from 35 to 65 to 100, maybe it's not exactly right, but basically the journey of every man to, hey, I think I can maybe put in more, to, hey, I think I can make the podium. Just what would you tell folks about, going out this weekend? What's like the best advice you ever got?
I think it wasn't really advice that I received. It was more advice that I read. I will say that the best thing that I ever read was one of the articles that Trevor had written about essentially, he views the course as kind of like a dirt bike course. And he picks his lane and he does the exact same thing every single lap. So, if you're running on the right-hand side, you're always running on the right-hand side. You're always utilizing the same obstacle. You're never doing anything new. So you want to remove as many variables as possible from every single lap. And it just kind of gets you into this habit of just being very, you just kind of get in the zone, and you just, your body just kind of continues to do exactly the same thing as you train it every single lap to do exactly the same thing. So I think that is the best, kind of like the best thing, advice that I've had.
Yeah, I like that. I think I also subscribe to that. Like, it's just, you just get into that rhythm, right?
Yeah, for sure. And I don't know. I don't think there's any particular advice. The other thing, I mean, if I were to tell somebody is just kind of anchor yourself to like little things like the halfway mark, and back to the start is pretty much kind of like what I would do all the time. Is just knowing when the halfway point is, and then knowing when you're obviously starting a whole new lap and stuff. That kind of helps to break down the laps for me in my head.
Yeah, I think I've never really run it like on my own. Like I've always done it like with a person. And so to me, pretty much any lap race that I've done, I feel like, and so you get into that groove with each other more. So I've never had to I've definitely sort of been alone in those times, but like when you're with a buddy, you just start joking about it, right? You're like, oh, this fucking obstacle again, which gets to be all the obstacles, by the way, all the ones that you're like, oh, I can't believe I got to do fucking hump chuck again, even though it's not that hard or whatever. Do you think while you're cheering on your buddies, at some point you're going to have some FOMO of like, oh, fuck, like I should have ran this, or I wish I was running this?
No, not really. I think I do a pretty good job with myself in terms of just accepting it and just being like, it is what it is. If I know that I'm there to do a very specific task or a very specific job, which is to help you with some of the coverage and cheer on some of my friends and stuff like that. That's my mindset I'm going into it. So I really, it's just a part of life, right? Shit happens and you can't do it, and you're just like, all right, whatever. I'm gonna come over here and help out.
Do you take Thorazine whenever we do these live streams? Because I know you are such a fun guy, and every time you come on here, you're like, yeah, I don't know.
I don't know, man.
You are one of the most fun guys I know, Javier. You really are.
Makes me nervous, man. That's
is that why? Are you nervous? Is that why?
I'm absolutely nervous because last time I fumbled the read, so
you did fumble the read. Well, listen. Hopefully, Katie's going to be on here soon. Katie's not afraid of anything. Katie's like, let's go. But you're like that too in real life, and when you're doing You did. I forget the last time you did. Was it World's Toughest the last time that you did some play-by-play for us, and you were like the shit you were saying to the racers, like people were fucking loving it. Like, do you remember what race was that? Was it Iceland?
Yeah, that was Iceland. Oh yeah, I had a lot of fun with Iceland. I think one of the most memorable moments was the um, when Ryan Atkins was running and then Lindsey Webster was running after him, and I was like, "Oh, guy doesn't see wife for a whole 24 hours, continues to run away from her. There's something wrong with their relationship." Yeah, that was a good time. Iceland was a lot of fun.
Well, my understanding is though that they are retiring the 24-hour Spartan World Championship, which I 100% agree. The Ultra World Championship
Do you know
should
why
be
though?
up because nobody ever went,
No,
and
it's
because
because
now
they,
they
you
and
know,
now they
no,
have.
no, 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 no. The real reason is because Joe DeSena utilized all the money from that to bring back Double Rainbow at World's Toughest Mudder.
Are these the tea leaves that you're reading based on community's feelings about Joe DeSena? Is that where this is coming from?
I have no idea. That's just my assumption of kind of the state of OTR right now. So.
Yeah, well, it only ever got more than a few hundred people, and now that they own Tough Mudder, it's like just push everybody. Like and the whole Spartan Ultra should be an ultra distance. Like you've had people racing 50K obstacle races all year. Give them a championship race. It's not that complicated. It's not.
So are they bringing it down to a 50K, just a regular?
I don't know
50?
if they're. I just know they're not doing the big one anymore. You want to say hi to my cat? Do you know I'm a cat owner now? I know you're a big fan of the show. I don't know if you're listening lately. I'm now a cat owner.
Okay, show me this cat.
Pepper.
Cats aren't known to be friendly and obedient and all that stuff. So why not get a dog?
Well, we have three. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Here she is, the current world champion.
I'm here. I made it. How's it going?
Even though she fucking pretty much blew it last weekend.
I didn't completely blow it. Just
yes,
probably
you
like
did.
50%.
I mean, if you're not on the podium, come on. Do I want to talk to you?
It's true. It wasn't my day. We'll just say that.
Have you
Is
seen
that
this?
Is that a dog behind you?
Yeah, that's Douglas. Doug, come here. Come up.
You
No,
see,
he doesn't
you
wanna-
see,
he doesn't wanna
you
say
see,
hi.
Matt. That's how animals should be acting. This dog obviously loves her. And
Well,
where's your cat at?
So listen, I'll get the cat in a minute. So here's what I was about to say. Okay, I have 3 children. Right. Emma has a rabbit that she keeps in the room. Right. This is a small house. It's a 3-bedroom house. Okay. No room for pets. Kids always want pets. It's like, no, the rabbit stays in her room. It's fine. This fucking cat starts hanging around our yard, and they start feeding it like at the street because you don't feed the kit at the door because they will keep coming. Then they start feeding her at the door. Sorry. Then they're like, well, can we keep it and just not like bring it in? And I'm like, yeah, that's fine. Like, it's an outside cat. I had an outside cat growing up. Like, that's fine. And then like within a couple of days, we had like our first cold snap, and Emma was sitting on the couch with the cat, and it was like 9:00 at night, and Emma and the cat were both looking at me like, so what was I going to do? So of course. So now we have a cat. So by the way, it's not a girl, it's a boy. They were calling it her, and it's a boy. And so
Wait, what's its name?
Pepper.
Pepper.
So thank God you can go either way.
Yeah.
Pepper can go either way because we already named it. So anyway.
And you love it now, though.
Of course I love it. And the kids are like, we can't believe you love it. And he sleeps like right by us, and he's killing things. He killed a fucking thing the other day, and Mom was thrilled. So Katie Knight, reigning world champ.
Hello.
You're asking me questions about obstacles. Some might say, you know what? It doesn't fucking matter. Just show up and run, right?
Last year I showed up. I didn't know one obstacle. I've never done a Tough Mudder before in my life. And like by 2 a.m. I had everything figured out and then just like flew through it. But you kind of have to show up and figure it out. But now that I've read the names of these, I'm like, what the hell is going on? So last year, I think it was good that I didn't even know anything.
Right.
And these are like, I mean, I didn't really know the name of a lot of. They changed the name of some of them. It seems like.
Have you seen this? I think this is the jiggle one, right?
The jiggle. That's not really it, is it?
I think it is.
Like I said, I'm a pro. I'll be good at that one. The Statue of Liberty. I've never seen that one before, but that's been there before.
Yeah. So Statue of Liberty is just they give you a like a torch and say swim to the other side and don't let it go out. And we were hearing that lately it's been easy. The year I did it in Vegas, it was hard, and you were like fuck, and you were like floating and like trying not to get it blown out, and it was like kind of a mental fuck in the middle of the night. So
and then they changed, let's see, like the devil or the devil's whatever.
Yeah, devil's beard is now Satan's mustache. It's a lot of the regular ones.
Yeah.
Dill pickle is just Arctic enema.
Yeah.
But it's funny because I asked Javier what the best advice he ever got was, and since you only did it once, I'm guessing the only person that told you was Hunter. Maybe what's the best advice you ever got for World's Toughest?
Let's see here. I would say, and actually Mark just posted about it. You got to have fun, which sounds so lame, but it's a long, hard day and night. So unless you're not like having fun a little bit, like go home, because otherwise you're not going to make it. And this year, I'm sure you've seen the weather forecast. That's brutal. Gosh damn it. And like, maybe we'll just push out, because this week it's like, the highs are good, the lows are good, and then come Saturday, Sunday, below freezing. But, I have my swim run wetsuit from Swim Run World Championships I did. It's great. It's got a thermal top on it, so that'll keep me a little bit cozy. I don't know. But it's going to be a long night.
What is the thickness on your swim run?
I think it's down to like 0 degrees Celsius, which is freezing. So it's like 30 degrees Fahrenheit.
No, what's the mill? You mean?
I don't know. I just know the temperature it goes to.
Katie, just some advice. Have your pit crew have warm water in every lap. Just make sure they pour it on your hands and into your wetsuit. And into your wetsuit. So
that's a really good idea. That's brilliant. Last year, it wasn't cold enough to even put the wetsuits on. Which was nice. I liked that way better.
Yeah, 2018 we had that freeze as well, so it was just that was a game changer.
Yeah, I would say layers is where it's at, right?
Yeah.
And like obviously for the fast folks, they need less because they're moving a lot faster. Like there were plenty of regular people that needed a wetsuit even last year, right?
Yep.
But for I would say when it's going to get that cold, like I think the one, and you guys both know this, but for anybody watching, like the best, almost the most unreplaceable thing is like the $15 windbreaker, like that on top of whatever expensive wetsuit you're wearing saves your ass, and that goes over whatever you're wearing. Earlier in the night, it can go over whatever else, and then later if you put it on the layer, it's like that's the magic, because it's the wind hitting you that fucking is the worst.
Well, and I think there's some decent wind gusts this year. At least that's what the forecast says. So, yay!
Mm-hmm.
Were you talking about like best advice for like gear?
No, I just meant in general. Like, hey, like, what's the best advice somebody told you that you listened to and it worked? Basically,
I don't listen to a lot of people, so you saw. I would say pickle juice all day. You saw me chug out of that last year.
But that's like a personal food choice. Yeah. I just meant sort of on the mental side.
Yeah, I would definitely say you got to have some fun, because these obstacles, they're not like Spartan. They're actually fun. I mean, whatever word you want to use. There are still some that I haven't done before, so that's it'll be a blast to go out there and figure them out when I get to the obstacle, like usual.
Yeah, I think it's like we were going through them, and honestly, most of them are standard, but with funnier names.
Yeah. The slide one, that looks like a blast, or the
yeah, I got to do that one, right? I got to do that one at least once.
The hay bale climb.
Hay bale climb is like they've had that one though. That's not new.
See, I haven't done that one. You're an OG. I haven't been around that long. I'm fresh.
You seem to have a pretty good attitude about it though. Like you're going in, like clearly you have the target, and you seem to be pretty chill on it.
Yeah, I would definitely say there's some pressure on this race, and there's a target on my back, but I'm gonna show up. I'm gonna move for 24 hours, and May the best person win. But, you know, we're just going to go do it. Have some fun.
Do you want to quickly say maybe what you think happened in SoCal last weekend?
Oh, a battle bunker. I definitely took it too easy coming into the first event. I thought I'd have more time to catch up. I did not. Second event went pretty well. I don't know if you saw, I had my hands wrapped in the sandbag so I could clean and front squat those faster. But then when it came to the run, my wrists were stuck in the bag. So I couldn't run like normal people out on the side. So my arms were just like being torn back behind me. So, you know, I still think that one went really well. I think I was the fastest girl to get out of the grid, or at least get the sandbag portion done. And then the third event, is that what you're talking about? I blew it. I did. I made some mental errors. I fell off the balance beam right away. My head was just not in the game. And it was just one of those events that, you know, had I done better, I probably could have taken third or fourth. And, you know, I can't be just phenomenal all the time. I got to have a couple events. I'm kidding. I'm not really arrogant, but, you know, that's really what happened. And then I've done that obstacle. I don't know if you saw, I got stuck on the rings and the ropes. I've done that thing like a million times, practiced. And it's
Which
just
one?
like the one where it went like ring, rope, ring.
Right.
Like, I don't even know. Like, listen, it's just, yeah, it was definitely a mental thing that happened during the obstacle course more than anything. So we'll be ready to go this weekend. Got the mind cleared out, still strong. So
hang on, I'm getting go ahead.
Do you have a question about anything else that happened? Should we talk about more of my flaws?
Well, I had you on. I just thought I would.
Yeah.
Well, because I did kind of think maybe we just go by each obstacle blow by blow, but I think that's kind of boring. And I think honestly, most people have like kind of figured it out by now. But yeah, I think it's like, it's kind of natural to be like, okay, let me freak out. I don't know what this is yet. But at the end of the day, I almost wrote, when I put the map out, I almost said something like, you can have a plan, but it's not going to fucking matter anyway. And that really is the truth. Like for the average athlete, it's like, well, you know, it's like this whole like, you could walk and get 50, like all this stuff. It's like none of it, like it doesn't fucking matter because you're not walking in a straight line for 50 miles. So like that goes out the fucking window. So don't think you're going to get 50 just because you think you can walk at a 20-minute pace for 24 hours because you're not. You're going to stop. You're going to eat. Something's going to get hurt. It's going to be fucking freezing. You're going to put on more, you know what I mean? All of it. So
that's a great point. There, like anything can happen. Anything can go wrong. And if anybody's ever paid attention to 24-hour races, someone bonks their knee in the middle of the night, or this happens, and they're too cold, they can't go back out, or they take a nap in the pit area and they're like, oops. So like anything and everything happens. And like this isn't a trail race. It's, you know, a lot of upper body strength. And that's like, you know, come midnight, I think that's when the race starts. Like for sure.
Did anything surprise
you? What'd you say?
Did anything surprise you in last year that you ran this? And did you have anything that happened in the middle of the race that like kind of screwed up your plans or whatever?
I mean, I was surprised again by every obstacle I got to because I had never done them before, but it was a blast. You figure it out. And definitely had ones I liked and I didn't like. You kind of come up with a strategy, especially when like obstacles open and close.
Yep.
Sometimes they have like electric alley. So you kind of like make a plan. I did have like a little bump in the road because I took some scratch, and I never, ever take scratch or tailwind. I think they're garbage. I hate them, but it kind of messed up my like GI tract. And so like probably around like 2 to 3 a.m. wasn't having a lot of fun, but something always happens. You just have to like expect it. And then how are you going to deal with it? So like, it's almost good for racers to have like bad things happen in prior events and have that experience, because something will happen. And then how are you going to deal with it? You got to figure it out, whether that's, you know, eat more, drink more, wrap something, do something to get yourself, your mind to keep going. And this year it's going to be cold. So people are going to have to deal with that.
I think I know both of you to be super positive people, but do you remember a low point? I'll go to you, Javier, first, because I know you've had a few cracks at this. A low point, and like, because we talk about what we're gonna do to get through it, but like what you did, was it that hug from a family member? Was it like out on the course, something mental? Like, do you have one of those that like you really like something needed to change and it did?
I would say probably 2016. That year, I really got in my own head, and I didn't think I was going to meet certain time targets or anything like that, and that just took over, and I ended up having a pretty bad race that year. But I think to Katie's point, the having fun part is pretty important. Like 2018 was absolutely fucking miserable. It was cold as shit. People that stopped were freezing, things were stopping or whatnot. That year in particular, I mean, it was just having conversations with people, making sure that I was thanking the volunteers, trying to get out of my own head. I think at one point I was running and I was just remembering why I was doing it. I think like at that time I was like, I don't know, just for my mom or something like that. And then, or even just staring up at the sky sometimes, and then you kind of see all the stars and whatnot. And I was like, "Oh, this is nice!" Like just finding little moments and stuff like that to kind of carry you through and keep you going forward. But yeah, I don't know. Just I can't really think of any like the past couple of years of anything that has been really negative that I've had to like kind of fight through. I know that people have those dark periods, but past 3 events that I've done, I haven't had any of those. So.
Did you have one or more of those last year, Katie?
Low points?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would definitely say that like, well, so I think the worst, like everybody's so excited for the sun to come up, but it's always coldest right before the dawn. And so like midnight to like sunrise is like my party time. And like, I feel great. I'm on like a stride. Like I love it. And then it gets so cold and then the sun comes up. And so like, that's like the low point usually for me. It's like kind of like a mental break and your knees hurt, everything hurts. You just want to go home. But like my pit crew last year was really phenomenal. They really got me through a lot of those low points to come in each time. So like, that's always a positive. Like he mentioned, like having why you're doing it is always important. And when that goes out the window, you just like, you keep moving. I don't know, the goal, you have a goal coming in, whether that's moving for 24 hours, getting to certain mileage, whatever it is, that always helps as well. Also what gets me through is like a comfort food. So like, I know there's that funny video you put out about the cinnamon roll, but that really just took my spirits from like 50% to 100, like a true fat kid. But things like that are always fun. I mean, there's always going to be low points. I remember like in the middle of the night when I was like not doing very well. And I think Amelia like was right there with me. And I was like, man, this isn't fun. This isn't good. And then like, she never passed me again. So, you got to find something to motivate you, a goal, whatever it is.
Are you a former fat kid?
No, but like I have a feeling I looked like a fat kid in that video. My face is swollen from all that sodium, and I like the way I say like, "Oh, a cinnamon roll," like it's pretty point on what a fat kid would do, I guess.
No, I okay, I can see that.
Yeah.
When are you arriving, Katie? What is your travel plan?
I get in Thursday, and then my crew gets in on Friday. We have like kind of a fun little pit crew triangle. It's Chris Doza, Callie, and I in like a little triangle. So we'll have Chris's parents helping out, some of my family members. So it should just be a party in the pit.
Right.
Yeah.
What time are the pits open? I know I should know these things. What time are the pits open on Friday?
You act like I know anything. I just show up like I found out about all obstacles last year. We'll find out that again. I think like Friday morning.
No, it's Friday morning. I'll look later. It's fine. Or somebody watching can chime in. Well, listen, I want to let you guys go. This is very late for me to be talking. I don't know if you can tell, but like I'm best first thing in the morning. Like there's always like there's interview time. It's like 1 p.m. Eastern is like the latest I usually go, which makes WTN very interesting because I'm like, woo, because then you just kind of like take the coffee and you go in and out of insanity. So
I think it's harder for you guys to be like awake and people who are like in the pit. Like that sounds so brutal. Like we're moving, we have a mission. You guys are just like not sleeping and like waiting for people to come and go.
Right, but that also, like, I've done both, so it can be like it can be super, like, I usually get FOMO at least once, but then sometimes I'm like, then you like walk by the medical tent and you're like, oh, thank God, I'm wearing a fucking dry robe and some sweet mittens, and
Katie, I think you're referring to very shitty pit crew members that just kind of sit around and not do anything. Usually I'm like trying to forecast times out. Oh, what is this person going to need? I'm running back and forth, talking to other people, gathering information. So
yeah. But like you guys don't get any sleep either, is what I'm saying.
Right. Well,
like that's a long, hard, cold night for you.
I was so fucking proud of myself. I hung in every year and never went to bed. Like naps in the corner somewhere until it was in Atlanta, and then I couldn't resist, and I went home that like one night, and then the second year in Atlanta, I slept in somebody's truck for a couple hours. But yeah, now I'm too fucking old. I cannot make it. It's just not gonna make it. But it's funny because if you leave and come back at, let's say you leave at 2 a.m. and come back at 6 a.m., there's still 8 hours of racing, right? Because it still goes to noon and then plus an hour and a half. And that brings up the point of like, like Batrus last year, crushing it. And anytime somebody asked me, I'm like, maybe, you know what I mean? Because anybody can blow up at any time. And basically not until you get to like 9:30, 10 a.m. is like, okay, even if he blows up now, he's still going to win. He may not get 100, but it really is that way, that anything can happen at any time to anyone.
I love what Trevor does every year. Like it's impressive. He literally starts out the back of the pack and he just sneaks his way up through like all throughout the night and comes top like 3 and 5 every year. Like that's crazy. But that it really does show that like the race doesn't start till midnight, and then again sunrise you have 6 hours still.
I was with Chris Brown Johnson, and we were second and third, and then we were going up a hill, and we were like, man, we haven't seen Trevor. And then Trevor just right behind us, just like walks right by us, like still at full steam ahead. I'm like, what the fuck, man? How'd he say? And then every year that I have a conversation with, he's like, yeah, I haven't done much training. I haven't done much of anything. Meanwhile, I'm busting my ass.
Last year, okay, it was like the ultimate Trevor move. Like even for Trevor, it was a Trevor move. Is like Trevor's pit crew was a fucking ironing board he stole from the hotel and had like a shirt and a cooler sitting on. I'm like, you're just fucking trolling us now, bro. Like, but that's just how he rolls. Trevor,
it's amazing.
Javier,
his toolbox had all of his like nutrition and all that stuff. He had to separate it in a fucking toolbox. I'm like, dude, the day before he was drinking beers at the tent. And I'm like, how? I have not.
At Telluride, I had like a dish bin that I took from the hotel. I did give it back, but that was my like pit area. I'm like, it was a trash can. I upgraded to a dish tray. So it works. Whatever works.
So 7:30 Saturday, that's early. Don't set up. It's nobody. I need to do interviews and shit. 7:30. Don't set up that early, Katie. Okay.
Again, you really think I'm going to be there set up? 11 we'll be ready to go.
Are you Airbnb nearby? What's your story?
Yeah, a big group of us, like my little, like I said, pit triangle. We're all staying like probably 45 minutes from the venue in Pensacola. And then we'll drive there Saturday morning at some point to set everything up. And I think you can set up on Friday.
Yeah, it opens at 8 a.m. on Friday, it says. Sorry, 8:30 on Friday. Thanks.
I'm just pumped I have a square this year. I told you last year, Matt, I showed up and I stole somebody's. Shout out to that guy. I wish I remembered his name, but that came in clutch because I was like going to be in the back of the pack. And I was like, no.
Right. Well, you do at a certain point, you do get the quick pit thing. I haven't read the rules, but I'm sure they'll do that again. And then everybody kind of figures out a way to kind of make that work regardless. But all right, guys, unless there's any final questions, I think we'll call it. By the way, Will Chung says late ? I know it's like midnight over there, Will. Good for you for staying up and watching. I appreciate it.
He's calling you weak, I think.
That's fine. I mean, I'm cool with that. I go to bed early. What do you want from me?
Oh, that's good. Take that, Will.
Yeah, I look fantastic. Let's see how you guys look when you're older. Oh,
Probably better than you, Matt.
Yes.
that is not. That is. Get the fuck out of here.
I'm brown. I mean, we age pretty well, so.
I don't know. You're gonna have so many fucking. What do you eat? Like gorditas and shit. You're gonna be huge.
Yeah.
I think you should take bets now, and you can look back on this.
All right. Well, listen. Everybody who's watching, thank you for tuning in, and those of you who tuned on the after party show. We will have lots of fun stuff on social media. Javier will be running around. Javier's going to chase you with a phone and or GoPro. So I hope you're ready, Katie.
Me?
Yes.
All right, try to catch me, man. I'm going so fast.
Oh yeah, you know, super dope,
All right.
Matt.
All right. Bye, guys.